In a village nestled by the edge of an old, deep forest, there lived a young boy. Every evening, as twilight painted the sky in shades of orange and purple, he would walk home after a long day helping in the fields. The path through the forest was a familiar friend, a trail his elders had walked for generations. It was lit by the gentle glow of fireflies and softened by moonlight filtering through the canopy. His grandparents had told him the path was safe, a trusted route that would always lead him home. He thought he understood its secrets, its twists and turns, but the boy was always in a hurry. He loved shortcuts. Whenever he spotted what he thought was a faster way through the thick trees, he'd dash off the main path, convinced that reaching home a few minutes earlier was a victory worth celebrating. He believed that the forest, like a loyal dog, would always bend to his will. One night, however, something was different. The air grew still, and the usual chorus of crickets fell silent. The forest, his old friend, felt like a stranger. The path seemed to loop back on itself, the same gnarled tree root appearing again and again. The trees themselves seemed to have moved, standing closer together, their branches like tangled arms blocking his way. The shadows, usually playful, now lingered with an unnerving weight. But the boy, stubborn and confident, pushed onward. He was sure the forest was just playing a game one he would surely win. He didn't know he was being watched. Hidden just beyond the veil of darkness, silent and towering among the ancient trees, stood the Tikbalang. The creature was a guardian of the woods, a figure from the old stories his grandmother used to whisper. It was tall, its form a blend of man and horse, its eyes glowing with an ancient light. But the Tikbalang did not leap out. It did not roar or give chase. It simply watched. It had a different lesson in mind for the boy. Instead of terror, it used confusion. With its power, the forest became a maze. The path he knew so well twisted into an unrecognizable labyrinth. Every step the boy took, sure he was heading home, only led him deeper into the woods. The familiar landmarks vanished, replaced by an endless sea of identical trees. His confidence, once a roaring fire, slowly dwindled into a single flickering ember. He called out,
Hello?
but his voice
Is
was
anyone
swallowed
there?
by the profound silence. Exhausted, lost, and finally afraid, the boy stopped. His legs ached, and his heart pounded against his ribs. It was in that moment of surrender, leaning against the rough bark of a tree, that the words of his elders echoed in his mind. He remembered their lessons, the ones he had so often ignored in his rush. They had taught him that paths are not just about getting from one place to another. They are about the journey itself. They had warned him that the forest was a living, breathing entity, one that demanded respect, not challenge. He had treated the woods like a simple problem to be solved, a race to be won. He had been wrong. Standing there, small and humbled in the immense darkness, the boy did what he should have done from the start. He closed his eyes, took a long, slow breath, and bowed his head slightly. He didn't speak words, but his heart offered an apology. He showed respect. And the forest, as if it had been waiting for this very moment, answered. A gentle breeze rustled the leaves, like a soft sigh of acceptance. The oppressive closeness of the trees seemed to relax. The fireflies, one by one, returned, their lights creating a sparkling, living map. He opened his eyes, and there it was, the familiar path, clear and inviting, winding its way through the trees. The Tikbalang, its silent lesson taught and its watch complete, melted back into the shadows of the night, becoming one with the forest it protected. The boy started walking again, but this time, there was no hurry in his steps. He followed the path with a newfound reverence, noticing the beauty he had always rushed past, the intricate patterns of moss on a stone, the way the moonlight danced on a spider's web. He didn't arrive home any faster than he would have if he'd just stayed on the path. But he did not arrive as the same boy who had entered the forest that evening. He arrived wiser, with a deep understanding that some things in life are not meant to be rushed, and that the oldest paths are often the most profound. He had learned that patience and respect are their own shortcuts, leading not just to a destination, but to wisdom. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, remember to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next video. See you next time!